Hey guys, I'm Elrinth, the first boss, and today I want to bring you guys some news. So first up, I've been working on the Virtual Boy port of Doom. I've actually been implementing walls into the game, and I can see enemies and I can shoot. However, running it on the actual Virtual Boy by flashing this Flash Boy Plus, the game actually shows some really weird bugs, such as inputs going haywire and all the calculations and stuff are probably not working as they are supposed to, because whenever I turn right it turns like up and right at the same time and stuff like that. And so I think it's the floating point math I'm doing, which should be fixed point on the actual Virtual Boy, which might be the problem. But anyways, I will continue working on that, and it's still very bad looking because all the tiles are being rendered as big blocks instead of nice walls, so I'll be trying to figure out a good way to do that in the future. Anyways, let's continue. So 2 new Famicom games were released in 2020. First up is Astro Ninja Man. Really cool vertical shooter, and the musicians are Hiroto Saito, famous of Morio Senki Madara Daikongo Rinhen on the PC-98, and famous for Folklore on the PS3 as well. Then you have Nobuyuki Shioda, who made the Kickmaster soundtrack for the NES, as well as Rekka for the Famicom, Summer Carnival 92. And then we have Manabu Namiki, who's famous for Dodonpachi Daioyo, as well as Contra Rebirth, and Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, and Battle Garega, and latest GG Alest 3 on, I think it's the Game Gear, but it's as well on PS4 and Switch. And then the final musician, we have Bunpei Nagahama, aka Bun, famous for the Blaster Master 0, 1 and 2 soundtracks, together with a bunch of other sound composers on those 2 games. Anyways, the game looks amazing and I want to play it, but it's quite expensive. The next Famicom game, which came out in late 2020, December actually, is Gold Guardian Gun Girl, which is really cool, sort of rogue light. Do you call it that? I'm not sure. You go through a dungeon and there's this timer going down, which is your fuel, and whenever you take a hit you lose health, and when your fuel is out you start losing more health. So you need to collect all these fuel cells and health points, and you get stronger by collecting stuff and defeating monsters. But in the end levels you don't get any fuel anymore, you just need to get through them as fast as possible. And then there's the high scores and bosses and etc. Anyways, there's a trial version out for this game. However, it will end once you encounter the boss on the 8th basement floor. In the product version, you can defeat the 8th basement boss, and then you'll continue onto 32 basement floors. There are 3 types of enemies in the trial version, and in the final product version there's 8 types of enemies. Next up, let's talk about MegaSD Corrupted, a fan game which has been in development for 10 years. And it started out as an AS3 Flex using the Flex compiler and being developed in Flash Develop. And today it's been ported into C++, I think he's coding it in now. The guy developing it is called JKB Games, and I actually found out about this game like 10 years ago when I heard the Hurricane Hoatzin stage music by Dominic Ninmark. I absolutely fell in love with that stage music, and so I actually started working on my own version of that music. Anyways, the thing which is new with this game is that the intro stage is now finally done, and it looks absolutely amazing. You guys should check it out if you like MegaSD. Next up we have Cyber Shadow for a bunch of consoles, coming out 26th January. I actually spoke about this game in a video I made last year, and I'm really stoked for it because it has great music and it seems to be very similar to Shadow of the Ninja, Blue Shadow, Kage, / whatever. And The music is by Enrique Martin and it's being supervised by Bert, aka Jay Kaufman, so the music's gonna be amazing. Anyways, check that game out next week. And so then we have the Nintendo Switch Pro. It's been data mined some info about it, and it seems there's going to be some kind of 4K capabilities for the media part. So we will see what that's all about. There's not really much being disclosed here, but it's gonna be more powerful, obviously. And then we have the 8-bit Dog controllers being discontinued, the N30 and the SN30. That's super sad because they were like released not too long ago, and I'm not really sure why they're being discontinued. Perhaps they're gonna do some improvements, or they're just not gonna be selling these anymore. I don't know. That's too bad. And then we have some information about the game Paprium, which I spoke about in the last video. So the guy over at GameSack, Joe, actually got it working on the analog MegaSD. And there's a bunch of settings you have to set on the analog MegaSD in order to get the game to boot. However, the game has scrambled text on the analog MegaSD, so it takes away a lot of the feeling of the game, I think. But everything else works just fine, but it's like not being able to read the text is super annoying. Because you don't know what you're selecting in the menus, and all the text in the game is like garbled. Also, the game will not boot on a Wonder Mega. So taste that, Fonzie, the creator of this game, who complains that the MegaSD is not true Sega hardware. And I've recorded some footage on the on the Sega Mega Drive Model 1, and I actually noticed it somehow detects that it's a Japanese console, so all the text in the game is Japanese, so that's kind of too bad, but you can play the game most of the part. Oh, and I'm sorry for the bad footage here of my composite recording. I've got a RGB cable coming in, so the footage will be better recorded, but I'm still waiting for Kevtris to fix the analog MegaSD to be able to play the game perfectly. Because the game is actually really, really fun, so it's like super simple gameplay. If you got the 3-button joystick, you can't actually use all the moves the character can do, because then you have the blue pill move and the attack, a normal attack, and the jump button. And if you have a 6-button controller, there's a bunch of more buttons. There's 3 more buttons you can use, and they are block and punch below you, but you can just do a jump attack in order if you need to defeat enemies below you. And then the 3rd button does sort of a push whenever you've picked up an enemy, or not picked up an enemy, but when you've grabbed an enemy, then you can push them away from you. Yeah, so that's the Paprium news. And Terra Onion has also released a new thing for the MegaSD, or to be coupled with it, called the MSDEXT, which is a peripheral you push into the cartridge slot, or not the cartridge slot, but the slot at the side of your Mega Drive, the Sega CD slot. So you slot it in there, and then you can move the MegaSD flash cartridge from your 32X, if you have one, into that Sega CD slot, and then you can run the Sega CD games, because Sega CD games will not work if you have the 32X attached. So that's a bummer, but it's awesome that this peripheral helps it. And then the final news is that the Retro Fighter N64 wireless controllers, which there was a Kickstarter late last year, these have been finally shipped, and I'll be getting mine sometime, I don't know, in February maybe. But it's really cool to see if the N64 wireless controllers will be working fine or not. And that's all I have for you guys. I've actually been playing some Chrono Cross on the PS1, and I've had still some issues with the PS1 digital syncing out. And I'm on the latest firmware, so there's still some kinks to fix out there. And the PSIO, I still haven't been able to switch to CD2, as I've been playing like, I think it's 30 hours or so now, but I've still not reached CD2. So it'll be interesting to see how it handles that. Other than that, I don't know. What games have you guys been playing? I'm really looking forward to Cyber Shadow, so I'll be playing that on next Tuesday. I know some people already have the game in their hands, like reviewers and stuff. Shame on you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video, and like and subscribe if you haven't, and bye! Actually got it working on the analog MegaSD, and there's a bunch of settings you have to set on your analog NT Mini for no. And there's a bunch of settings you have to set on the analog MegaSD in order to get the game to boot.